All right, fellas, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to basically just look over our roster. Okay. There are a lot of options in that particular thing, but we want to see what we have. We have literally crap at quarterback, right? Mac Jones, good Lord, we're not going to be using him. So we're going to have to find ourselves a quarterback. Halfback, I'm probably not going to stick with this guy. I'm going to trade him. I don't like having a halfback with less than 90 speed. So he's going to be gone, and he's an 81, so he'll be some decent draft capital. Receiver, I see one guy that might stay with the team. Well, maybe two. I forgot about Thornton. Um, just to have a burner out there. But yeah, we're probably going to be trading Juju and Bourne and Parker. We're probably going to be getting rid of them. Hunter Henry, we're going to be trading for him. I'm telling you right now, we'll get Dawson Knox. Um, he's the best tight end to get in franchise, and I'll explain that as we go through the trading process. One thing New England does have is they have a pretty good offensive line. We're probably going to go ahead and trade Trent Brown. I think this is his last year on his contract anyway, so we're probably going to go ahead and trade for him, and we might be able to get a couple of decent linemen. Um, you know, it's a pretty decent offensive line. We could just stick with this. It's not like we're going to get hurt if we stick with this offensive line, but we'll build it up a little bit. We can pretty much improve at every position. Christian Barmore, we're going to move him to defensive tackle. He's 310 pounds. He's got 90 strength. He's going to be an over 80 defensive tackle. We will have to decide what we do with the ends here, but I'm pretty sure we can get some ends that are going to be a little more to our liking. We're probably going to keep Godshaw or whatever. I think that's how you pronounce it. We're probably going to keep him as our number 2 defensive tackle. We're definitely going to be trading Judon. He'll give us some decent trade value, and we'll just keep Uche as our outside linebacker. We may go ahead and I haven't checked with the new ratings. We might put him at defensive end. His block shedding is a little low, but we'll probably keep him. We may or may not. So middle linebacker, and we're probably going to trade for a better middle linebacker. We're not going to, with this team, because we have a crappy team here, we have to make a decision. We're either going to go 4-3-6-1 as our defense, or we're going to go more dime dollar. In this case, it's a lot easier to get secondary players. Okay, remember, linebackers don't animate. Okay, not very well. They're basically glued to the ground unless they have lurk artists. There is no lurk artist in franchise. So, if you happen to be able to get linebackers where you can get lurker, yeah, you can do it. I prefer when I'm going against computer to use 4-3-6-1, but dime is just as effective, and safeties will animate. So instead of having linebackers out there, we're going to have safeties out there. So we're really not too worried about linebackers. We will go ahead and field some fast young linebackers. And I've had some franchises where I end up going to 4-3-6-1 because I end up getting some pretty good linebackers. But right now, that's not a priority for us. But we have some decent trade capital at these linebacker positions. Okay, and that's what we're doing when we're going through this. We're targeting what we want. Okay, for trade capital. We have 4 really good cornerbacks here. Actually, 5. Okay, we're probably going to trade Miles Bryant. I'm probably going to get rid of Jonathan Jones. He's old to me. He's going to start regressing at some point here within the next year or two. So we're probably going to trade Jones and get a nice young cornerback. We'll see how that goes, but I'm pretty sure that we'll end up improving these cornerbacks. But that's the strength of this team, is they have some pretty good young cornerbacks here. So, and then at free safety, these guys are just filler players. But we have 2 decent safeties, right? Kyle Duggar, He's going to be our starting strong safety. I can tell you that right now. We're going to trade Jabril Peppers for a better safety, okay? One that suits our needs better. I go with speed. Speed is the thing that is the most important to me in the secondary. So I won't have a person in my secondary with less than 90 speed. And you do have to remember in franchise, with your assistant coach boosts, you can get +1, +2, +3 speed, right? So we could get by with Peppers, but yeah, we're just going to trade him. It's too good a trade capital not to trade him and get some kind of good value, some good young value here. So kicker, we've got a young kicker. I mean, we're probably going to pick somebody up in free agency, and the punter is absolutely fine with 95 power. So overall, in terms of draft picks, we've got all our draft picks for 2024. Doesn't look like we're really in a bad place for 25 or 26 either. So we're fine there. This will change, but I can pretty well guarantee you we're still going to keep a first round pick and a second round pick. We might even be able to finagle getting a couple of extra high round picks, okay, for next season. But our main purpose here is to basically get a team that we can take to the Super Bowl, that is going to be competitive. So before I go ahead and start doing the really fun stuff when it comes to trading and building my team, I do want to explain some things here. So in terms of managing our roster, we have the trade center, and I will show you how that works. We have free agents. We have our depth chart. We have adjust our lineup. I don't ever use this. It's just a more graphical interface. I just go depth chart and NFL rosters. We can check our salaries. If we have players that need to be re-signed, we can do it from this menu item. Improve team, I never use this option. Injury report. If you have injuries on, you can check out the injuries, right? So right now, we went from rosters, free agents. I don't generally like to sign free agents until I've built my team up. I will limit the free agents that I sign. I will limit. I don't. You can cheat if you go into this free agent section right here. You can sign 280 guys right away if you want, right? But you also look at these guys. You've got guys who can fill out your team if you want. I will generally limit it to where I won't sign anybody who is over an 80. Okay, and then I will not allow myself to trade that free agent the season that I sign them. Okay, so I have to make a choice of whether to sign them after the season or to let them go. I think because you can really cheat the system here. You can get a guy like this. You can take Darby, sign him to 3 years, and then trade him right away and get some good trade capital for that. That's another problem with having the salary cap on, is you can game the salary cap. Anybody that has 1 or 2 years left on their contract are going to be easy pickings for trades. Okay, so I will limit myself. I won't let myself sign anybody who is an 80 or above. And a lot of times I'll just limit how many free agents that I'll sign and say, like, anybody who's 75 or above, I'll limit myself to 3 or 5 free agents, right? I have to do a lot of self-policing in these franchises because it's just so easy to game the system. So we're going to wait to sign free agents until we get the trades and our team built the way we want, and then we can fill some holes with those guys. Rarely will I sign a free agent who actually ends up starting for me. I don't really like to. I'm not saying that it's cheating, because maybe 1 or 2 is okay, but I like to make it a little bit challenging for myself if I can. So I'm going to go ahead and dig into the trades, and I will edit that and show you what we did with our players. So what we have here is we have Greg Newsome, who is a nice young cornerback with good speed. We could be dumping Jonathan Jones here and his higher salary. And we trade a cornerback that we don't need, and then we just need to have maybe a throw-in player. So if we go to, say, defensive tackle, we might even be able to trade one of our wide receivers here Um, I forget if Demario Douglas, I don't think he has any decent speed. Oh, he's got 91. Yeah, we could throw him in there, and this trade might actually go through. Perfect. So now all we need to do is throw in pretty much anybody. We can take this Brown guy. He's old. Oh, we can only do 3 players. That's right. So with draft picks, we can just throw in, say, a 6th round pick. And this trade should go through here. Trade accepted. So now we have Greg Newsome. Okay, so here we're looking to get either, say, Justin Fields or Baker Mayfield, which would be perfectly fine for us. Either quarterback, they're very close to the same. Justin Fields, with his speed, probably going to take him, and we're gonna try to get the #1 draft pick so we can get Caleb. But we can see this is the one where we're really going to probably have to sacrifice. We're probably going to go ahead and go for a 2nd rounder here and let them have that. We could try a 3rd and a 4th rounder and see if this works. Very close. So what happens if we go ahead and do a 2nd rounder? Very close. So we can now probably come down here and grab a 5th rounder for next year, and this may round it out. Very close. Let's go ahead and do a 5th rounder for this year. Very close. We'll do one more, and let's do a 5th rounder from next year. And again, this is our quarterback. It's the most important position on the field. I've played with Justin Field in franchises before. We're unloading some dead space here. Look at the cap money we're getting rid of. This is a win-win in my opinion. Very close. So let's just go ahead and throw in a 4th rounder from next season. And I don't like giving up the 2nd rounder, but it is a quarterback. Well, do we want to do a 4th rounder from this season? Very close. So now we can throw in the 5th. Let's go ahead and do a 7th rounder from next season. There we go. We got Justin Fields. And we gave up a 2nd and a 4th. That's okay. We can get that back. We got the quarterback that we needed. Okay, so we want to get James Cook here. Okay, we'll go with the 5th. And you do really want to be chintzy with some of these lower round picks. There, we got him. So we got our guy. We gave up more than what we wanted. 3rd, 4th, and 5th round pick, 25 and 26. But we gave up some dead cap there with Elliott and with So. And we got a better halfback. He's just playing faster. So things are already starting to round out here. Let's do a quick update. Managing roster, we go to NFL rosters. We have Justin Fields as our quarterback. We have James Cook as our starting halfback, 92 speed. The change of direction is really what I was looking for there. He's not the strongest guy. He's got good carrying, though. Decent vision. He's a star development, I believe. We can probably get him up to a superstar in a couple of games. I would imagine we can get into get a dev trait. His juke move is pretty good, and his catching is at 70. So he fits everything for us, unless there's some stud running back that we want to grab next year. And again, we're going to be looking for Caleb Williams, and I think we're going to be able to trade Justin Fields for a 1st round pick to maybe secure that next season. So, to me, we got our quarterback, and we can keep him for the future. I've played Justin Fields before. I've gotten him up to an over 90 in one season, superstar. So we can always keep him, and James Cook. Then we also got a super solid cornerback, right? Super solid. Um, we're rounding this team out already, right? So here we are with Dawson Knox. For some reason, I think he has 4 years left on his contract. For some reason, Dawson Knox is just an easily pluckable guy in this game. So we can essentially just, heck, we might even be able to throw Farrow here. And we might be able to get him in one shot here, you guys. I don't seem to be interested in him. Might be able to do Jennings. And I think Wilson's not particularly fast. 50-85, he's not bad. I mean, he's a nice backup middle linebacker. We might be able to get him just for this. And there's a bug in the game, by the way, with these trades. So we're going to have to get rid of one of these guys. Yeah, there's a bug. We're going to have to burn a draft pick to get this guy. At the beginning of the season, there's this bug in the game. I think we're just going to have to go for probably a sixth. I hate it. I don't like burning draft picks. We'll probably have to do 2 sixes. And we should be able to get Dawson here. Really close. I'm just going to go ahead and burn a fifth on this. And we got it. Okay, so that bug is something for you to pay attention to at the beginning of the season, in the preseason, until you've played your game and all the free agents have been signed and everybody's all set. There's a bug where certain players, even though it wants to accept the trade, the computer just won't do it. So I'm glad that this happened, so I can explain this to you guys. So if that happens, you're going to have to get rid of the player that's causing the problem, or just go for a draft pick. For simplicity's sake, I just went for a draft pick, and we've really upped our tight end position here. Okay, so we're going to try to go ahead and get Gabe Davis for Juju and Devontae Parker. That's $7 million in cap. We're going to have to sign Davis because I think this is the last year in his contract. So I think that's why this trade is very possibly going to go through. Maybe Hasty. There's that bug again. Okay, so to get a number 1 receiver, Gabe Davis, Jabril Peppers, and Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm not a big fan of this, but we've got this bug thing going on, and we still have it. And we got it. So we basically traded Jabril Peppers in a 3rd round for Gabe Davis in a 4th round. Again, that bug caused us problems. We'll make up for that. We'll go ahead and trade for some low picks and build them back up to 3rd and 4th round picks. So in my opinion, this is an awesome trade because now we've got a really good quarterback for our purposes. We've got the running back that we want, who can do everything for us, and we've now got a number 1 receiver. Right. So now we just have to fill this out with some faster, lower rung receivers, and we can do that pretty easily. So it looks like we got a bite on Juju Smith and Rashid Shaheed. This may go through. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to throw in a draft pick on his side. Let's make it a 3rd rounder next season. Very close. Let's drop that to a 4th rounder. Heck, let's go ahead and let's grab a 5th and a 6th maybe. Very close. Let's go ahead and drop the 5th, and we should be able to get it with the 6th round pick. We got him. So check out this receiving core now. We've got Gabe Davis and Rashid Shaheed. So we've got our burner, and we've got Gabe Davis, and we still have Bourne and Parker to get a 3rd receiver. We could just go ahead and start Tyquan as our 3rd receiver, but we're probably going to go ahead and trade Bourne and Parker and get another starter level receiver for us. And our tight end, Dawson Knox. I mean, that is just that offense is plenty to get us to a Super Bowl on all Madden, no problem. We can do this. Absolutely. We just need one more guy here. So we're going to see if we can trade Rashad Bateman for Devontae Parker straight up. Very close. You know what? Let's do Bourne. I think that's a pretty fair straight up trade right there. And we got it. Here's our offense. Justin Fields, 78. James Cook, 81, 92 speed. We've got Gabe Davis, Rashid Shaheed, and Rashad Bateman. So we got 92, 95, and 91. That is an excellent receiving core, definitely an upgrade from what we had, and we still have some trade capital with Devontae Parker here. And we have Dawson Knox. Okay, so we think we might have a trade here. Matthew Judon, who happens to be our best player, but his cap hit is huge. He's 31 years old. L'Jarius Sneed, one of the best cornerbacks in the game. I think we can get a 3rd round pick for sure, and maybe even a 5th round pick for next year. So we're going to go ahead and try this trade. Not quite. So let's go ahead and just see if we can get a 6th. Let's see if we can get it for this year. And we got it. So there we have L'Jarius Sneed, which very much makes J.C. Jackson expendable. So our next target is, he's a staple in Madden. He's a guy that is generally pretty easy to pick up in this game, and you will all probably recognize him. He plays middle linebacker for the Giants, Isaiah Simmons. And I think we can get him, I think for sure, straight up for J.C. Jackson. It hurts to give up J.C. Jackson's contract, but it's a small hit. I think we can actually get a draft pick out of this. So let's go ahead and shoot high, and let's see if they'll give us a 2. They won't, but let's just see how close we are. Not very close. Let's look for a 4. Very close with that. So let's go for a 4 next year. No, let's just go ahead and do a 5th. And these lower round draft picks, they don't seem like a lot, and you can kind of play around with them, but the more you can pick up, the better, because it's just that extra little oomph, especially with that bug in the game that I've told you guys about. So let's try this. Not quite. Let's see if we can get, let's go for, heck, let's just do a 6th and a 7th next season. Very close. Let's just go ahead and do a 7th next season. All right, we're just going to do it straight up. I think this is a very fair trade. Got him. So we just picked up Isaiah Simmons and L'Jarius Sneed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take Simmons and I'm going to move him to strong safety. And I wonder how many he has. Yeah, he's on the last year of his contract, so we're going to have to re-sign this guy. A lot of these guys we're going to have to re-sign. but as a strong safety, he comes out as an 80. He's a perfect user. Okay, so Julian Blackmon is one of my favorite players to trade for. The Colts never have seemed to value him very well in franchise and Madden. Mike Gesicki he's low on our totem pole at this point. He's a backup tight end, and we can just sign one in free agency. Let's throw 2 6s and see if this works. Got him. So now we've got a really good secondary, you guys. Let's check this out. So cornerback, we've got L'Jarius Sneed, Greg Newsome, and Christian Gonzalez. At strong safety, we've got Duggar. I think Julian Blackmon is a much better free safety anyway. So we're going to pop him at free safety, and Isaiah Simmons is going to be our user. So, whoops. So we're just going to do this, and he's probably on the last year. Yeah, he's on the last year of his contract. We've got tons of cap room, so we can sign guys. So look at this secondary, man. We're rounded out here. We got Duggar, Simmons, and Blackmon, with Sneed, Newsome, and Gonzalez as our starters. I mean, that's a pretty stacked defensive backfield. Along with this offense here, Justin Fields, James Cook, Gabe Davis, Shaheed, and Bateman. So Devin White is on the last year of his contract, and he's the third on the depth chart for the Bucs middle linebackers. So I think we're going to be able to get him for a steal. So we're going to go ahead and give him Marcus Jones and Anthony Jennings, and let's see if they go ahead and bite for this. What do you know? Now we've got a stud middle linebacker. So we went ahead and we got Trenton Simpson. We just traded Wilson and Hasty. I think this is a fair trade because Simpson's probably going to be like a 74, 75 outside linebacker. So I think this was a good trade for us. So if we go ahead and take Trenton Simpson and move him to left outside linebacker, who gets an upgrade too. Let's go ahead and do pass coverage for him. Excuse me. So we've got essentially a guy with 70 zone, a rookie, and 90 plus speed, and we're going to put him at outside linebacker in case we have to use linebackers. I've used him before, and he's good. He went all the way up to a 76. So we've got a rookie signed long term. Okay, so we've got Kwity Paye here. I think we've got him lined up pretty good here. I'm not a big fan of Joshy Boy here anymore, and Mac Wilson Sr. just isn't, he's not going to fit on our team. So we're going to go ahead and see if this trade will work. We got it. Kwity Paye for nothing. Okay, so before we do anything, Ashton Davis is on the trade block. He's only got 1 year left on his contract. I think we can probably get him from Mac Wilson here. So we're just going to go ahead and see if we can get this straight up. And let's go ahead and throw a 7th round pick. I have a feeling that Mac Wilson is the problem. Nope, we got him. So Josh Sweat is available. The Eagles are in need of a middle linebacker. They want a wide receiver. So we're going to see if we can snag him here with 2 guys we don't really want on our team. So they want this trade. The only problem is we have a little bug going on with it. So I'm going to try to replace Bentley with a right outside linebacker and see if they'll go for this. We have our bug again. I will go ahead and work through this and get back to you guys. All right, fellas, we were able to get that trade to go through. It was not easy. This bug is so annoying. I swear. So anyway, this is what we have. Now we have Kwity Paye at our left end. Star development. We've got Josh Sweat, and we can trade him. He'll be on the last year of his contract next season, so we can trade him next season. We've got Christian Barmore at defensive tackle and Godshaw, on the other side. We got Trenton Simpson. We've got Devin White and Landon Collins backing him up. And then for a right outside linebacker, we're probably going to go ahead and trade for a younger guy, but he's fine just where he's at. We've got Sneed, Newsom, and Gonzalez at corner. We've got Julian Blackman at free safety. And we've got Kyle Duggar at strong safety and Isaiah Simmons as our user. We're almost done here. But you can see we've really improved the overall talent, and we're going to have to sign these guys now next season. So, but I think we've done a fantastic job building a contender. Okay, guys, so this is a little bit of a crazy trade, but the Broncos, we've got Garrett Bowles, we've got Quinn, we've got McGlinchey, Trent Brown, huge salary. Garrett Bowles has a huge salary. I think he's only got 1 year, maybe 2 years left. Let's check that out real quick. He's got 2 years left. We could handle that. It's kind of a crazy trade, but I think we can go ahead and get this one done. Let's see if this works. Very close. We can just drop in. Let's drop in a 7th round pick. This should go. And we did it. So now we've just shored up our offensive line in one fell swoop. I'm going to go ahead and reorganize them, and I'll show you what we have. You guys, we might be able to improve our team here with Leo Collins. He's on the last year of his contract. And we got it. So we got Collins, and we traded away an aging Andrews. I think that's a fair trade. I'm going to go ahead and edit my line, and I'll show you what we have. All right, so our offensive line appears to be set. We've got Onwenu, I hope I pronounced that right. We've got Leo Collins, and we actually got a pretty decent backup here. Cole Strange actually could have started. Yeah, that's something to consider there. We've got Garrett Bowles here at center. We moved him. He's an 85. We've got Quinn at an 82 at right guard. And we've got Mike McGlinchey at right tackle. We've gone to probably one of the best offensive lines in the entire league at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in some spots by signing some lower end free agents. The free agent pool's been picked through. So there are no really good players for me to sign. So I'm going to go ahead and just sign some fill-in players, round out the roster, and I'm going to trade some lower rated players to maybe get some lower round draft picks back, and I will show you what we have when we're done. So I think that we may have found a suitable trade. The Panthers are in need of a left outside linebacker. Deion Jones is 3rd on their middle linebacker depth chart. So we're going to see if we can sneak in a 2nd round pick out of this. Very close. We might be able to dump Devontae Parker at this point if we don't get that bug. I think this is a great trade if it goes through. We got it. So now all we have to move is Deion Jones to outside linebacker. We will have to sign him, but he's 28 years old. I don't really have a problem with that. So Deion Jones is a 77 outside linebacker. I feel like we improved overall. 88 speed with over 70 zone on all of our linebackers. 91 speed, 91 speed, 88 speed. We can run 4-3-6-1 if we want to. Okay, so we just made a really quick trade. We got rid of some fluff. We traded Arnold, Farms, and Harris, and we got a 5th round pick. And so that pretty much rounds out our team. So let's take a look at this team from top to bottom here. So Justin Fields as our starting quarterback, James Cook as our starting running back. We signed Melvin Gordon and Ty Johnson to free agency. These are one-year deals, so it's not really going to affect us next season when we have to sign new players. We've got Gabe Davis, Shaheed, Bateman, Thornton, and Boutte at wide receiver. Pretty darn good receiving core. Tight ends, we got Dawson Knox, and we signed Farrell, or we kept Farrell Brown. So that's pretty decent. We've got Onwenu, Leo Collins, Garrett Bowles. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm just going to call him Quinn Miners. And Mike McGlinchey at offensive line. We've got Kwity Paye at left end, Josh Sweat at right end. We've got Barmore at defensive tackle and Godshaw alongside him. We've got Trenton Simpson, Devin White, and Deion Jones at linebackers. We've got L'Jarius Sneed, Greg Newsome, Christian Gonzalez. We signed Ronald Darby to a one-year deal and Kendall Sheffield to a one-year deal. So we have probably the best cornerback trio in the entire league right now. Certainly it's right up there. At free safety, we have Julian Blackman, who is going to be in the 80s after probably week 1 or 2, and Ashton Davis, and he'll be a cheap re-sign. I always grab Ashton Davis because he's great for depth, 92 speed, decent zone. And then we've got Kyle Duggar as our starting strong safety and Isaiah Simmons as our user. Riley Patterson at kicker and Bryce Behringer at punter. That, if we can't win a Super Bowl with this team, by the end of the season, Fields will be right up there, probably, depending, probably right around 90. That's our goal. That's our goal. So James Cook, I mean, we are stacked here. We've got guys. We don't have that many guys that we need to sign. I do want to give you guys a couple of warnings here. So first off, every time you make a trade, click in your right stick. If you haven't done this already, instead of just using the autosave, click New, type in the file name that you want, and so every time that you do something, you complete, I don't know, a game, whatever it is, you're going to want to go ahead and save, just in case the game crashes, or in case you make some kind of mistake, you accidentally trade your best player for a 6th-round pick on it, for some reason. Then you can always just back out and load right back up. But that's something that I've done for a long time, is I keep a backup. It auto saves every week, so you're essentially having 2 backups for your franchise. And sometimes franchise files do get corrupted, so that extra save helps a lot. So in terms of our money, we've done a pretty good job. We could go and get a superstar if we want to, but I want to leave it like this. We have 190. I mean, we don't have a lot of high-rated players, but if you look at what we have left, okay, these are guys that we might possibly sign at the end of the season, depending on how much they want. But these are just filler players for our team. If somebody gets tired, whatever, I generally will turn fatigue really low in franchise after the patch they did in, I believe it was November. I'll basically just turn it low or off. Fatigue is really messed up right now in franchise. So, we might sign Landon Collins. We probably won't. We'll probably just let him go. So we're going to be very active next season, but we're going to have plenty of money to do it. So where we want to start re-signing is probably right about here. Ashton Davis is for sure going to be re-signed. I doubt that we're going to re-sign Darby. We're probably going to go ahead and sign Deion Jones, at least to a couple-year contract. We're definitely going to sign Julian Blackman. If anything, he might be trade value. So we're gonna grab him. We're gonna go ahead and for sure sign Shaheed. we're definitely gonna sign Leo Collins. Um, Isaiah Simmons is going to be a top priority for us. So is Devin White. Devin White's going to be a linebacker for us for the next, 5, 6 years. We're definitely going to sign L'Jarius Sneed. These are going to be the bigger ticket items. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Duggar, we're going to re-sign him. 4, and Gabe Davis. That's 5. We have 5 guys that we want to sign. Our cap space is 31.6 right now. That cap penalty is huge because we made a lot of trades. Okay, so next year that cap penalty, there's still going to be some rollover, but that cap penalty is going to drop. So we're going to have plenty of money to go out and even sign a couple of free agents, sort of bargain free agents. And we might even be able to sign a pretty good free agent, actually. So, but we've balanced this out to where, next season we've got guys that we're going to need to have signed, like Bowles and Newsome, or we can just trade them in the off season to get draft picks. I like to do that. I like to keep my teams young. It generally takes me about till the 3rd season to get my team really where I'd like them. But this team, overall, we've got pretty solid team. Look at the number of 80s we have all the way down here. And within a couple of weeks, all of these guys are going to be in the 80s, right? Certainly by mid-season, we're going to have a lot of 80s. So I tend to set up my teams to be 80 pluses at every position if I can possibly do it. And certainly by mid-season, my teams will almost always have 80s unless it's a rookie, right? So that's kind of what you want to do. The next video, I'm going to show you how to basically set your lineups, your depth chart, do your coaching assignments, just manage the team in general, and that's going to be the next part. And after that video, we're going to be ready to start playing our season. So these first 3 videos are going to be the first video is a little bit tedious because it's just setting up the franchise. The next video is going to be a little tedious, setting up our strategy, upgrading our players, managing our staff, getting our depth charts set up, and our situational subs, our formation subs. And then I'll show you some things with coaching, by the way, that'll really help your team out. And after that, we're just going to have fun with the franchise. From now on, for the rest of the season, I'm just going to do stuff that I enjoy. If you guys enjoy following me, then great. But I want to have fun. We're done with mud at this point, other than just playing. I think our team is to the point where we can just play and have fun, and we don't have to worry about buying new cards. But I'm getting a little tired of doing all of these tip videos. I feel like we've kind of played it out. Everybody knows at this point in time what the metas are, and they know how to run them. And it's just kind of up to the individual to practice those and become proficient at it, or to just play casually. So I want to have fun with franchise, and this has been really fun. If you'll notice, New England Patriots are now an 84 overall. Right? We were an 81 when we started, and that was a very tenuous 81. I did not like that team. Horrible quarterback, no running game. Now we've got one of, if not the best offensive lines in the league. We've got a quarterback with 94 speed that is going to really help get us out of jams in the season. When you're trying to build a quarterback up, it is really nice to have one who can scramble. Because it just gives you that extra time, and you can use kind of some glitch routes to complete some passes. We've got an excellent young running back, a great receiving core, an awesome tight end. I mean, we just got everything we need. We've got really good defensive ends that we pulled out of a hat. Our linebackers, I don't feel like we lost anything with our linebacking core. In fact, I think we got better. We have the best cornerbacks in the trio in the entire league, and we've got a great secondary in terms of our safeties with Blackman, Duggar, and Isaiah Simmons. So we've really got there's no excuse for us not to win a Super Bowl this season. So, and I will show you guys. For those of you guys who struggle playing all Madden, this is going to help you because you're going to see how to play all Madden without against all the computer and all Madden without having a lot of abilities. I think we only have a couple of players that even have abilities. So I hope that this video has been helpful for you and entertaining for you, giving you some tips. The biggest things to take from this video are the trade bug. It is really difficult to get around that trade bug. You just, unfortunately, Madden just always screws things up. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. And so we could have, really quickly, I guess I will show you the rest of how many draft picks we have left. I'm pretty impressed with this, actually. We've got a 1, 2, and 2 threes, and a 5. We didn't lose anything this year. Now that 1 is probably going to be low. I would expect it to be a 32. But we've got a really good second round pick, and we've got, I don't know, we've got some, third round picks, okay? The season after this, we've got a first and a second. The season after this, a first and a second. That is a sacrifice I'm willing to make to have this kind of a team. Even our practice squad, we've got this cornerback that we frankly could have signed. We've really and we got a very quick young rookie cornerback here. I didn't know that Isaiah Bolden was on our practice squad, so we may go ahead and sign some of these guys. So anyway, we've built up a great squad, and I'm going to show you how to build them up during the season. Strategies to use during games to build your players up. One of the reasons why I want to build the team up, frankly, we could build a team of 76 or 77 and win the Super Bowl, just have fast players. But it's very important when you're playing franchise, there's a balance. If you play every single week, you're not going to get enough tackles and enough sacks, generally speaking, and enough interceptions to upgrade your players. Okay, when you simulate it, it's 15-minute quarters. It builds up your tackles. So there's a balance. I generally have found a sweet balance at playing about 5 games in a season. Okay, so 5 games, and then you simulate at this point 12. So maybe even play 6. That gives a good balance to where your players that you don't really use and that don't really build up stats, it helps them to advance versus regress or stagnate. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to play probably 5, 6 games a season. Since this is season 1, we'll probably go ahead and play 7, and then we'll play all of our playoff games, of course. But there's a balance in franchise. You'll see if you play a 17-game season, you're going to see some guys regress. You may even, if you don't turn off the dev trait regression, you're going to see dev traits regress, and you're going to be like, why? They were starters. They played the full season. Well, you played too many games, and they got what, 4 or 5 tackles in a game, if that, right? So there's a balance. You do need to simulate if you want to keep things semi-realistic and semi-balanced, okay? So anyway, be on the lookout for the next video, and as always, have a great day.